Hey guys, welcome back to the 10th video, the Python tutorials for beginners series. In this video, we'll be covering some of the more advanced aspects of Python loops. So over here, I've created a simple Python list called fruits. It has 4 items, which are apple, mango, pear, and strawberry. And let's say I want to print out each of these items in the terminal. To do that, we can use the index. So what we can do here is that we can use a for loop. So for index in range. So the index starts from 0, then goes 1, 2, 3. All right. So what we can do here is we can put 0 over here and we can put len. So again, remember that we are starting from 0, which is the first index, and we're going all the way up to the length of the list. So over here, the length of the list is 4. So we're going from 0 to 4, but we're not including 4 itself. So we're going from 0 to 3. So 0, 1, 2, 3. All right, so these are the indexes 0, 1, 2, 3. So and the length gives us the length of the list. So next you can write in print fruits index. All right, so in each iteration we'll simply print out the item and then we're also using the index. All right, so let's run the code. And you can see that we have printed out each item in the terminal. All right, so this is all right, but what we can do, we can actually do a lot better. We can use syntax that's a little cleaner than this, and we don't even need to use the index operator. So to do this, let me rewrite the code. So again, you type in for, and we'll name this new variable fruit. Next, we have to use the keyword in, and then we simply type out the name of the list. So over here, we have our Python list, and this is fruit. So remember that this is different from the Python list because there's s over here and there's no s over here, so these are different variables. And I'll just simply print out fruit, and I'll comment this out. And you can see that we have printed out the same, we print out each item one by one, and it's done by this loop. All right, so the way this works is that we have our list fruits over here, and basically we iterate through each item in the Python list. So we have fruit, and each item is referenced by fruit, so we can simply print it out. All right, and this is what we get. If I add in a few more items, let me just add a few numbers and maybe a boolean as well. And you can see that it prints out each item one by one. All right. So again, the syntax for line 6 and 7 and line 3 and 4 are basically the same. But but the thing is that the syntax in line 6 and 7 is a lot more concise, and it's a lot cleaner than using the index operator. And this loop is called iterating using index, and this is called iterating by item. All right, so let me show you another example. So let me make a variable string welcome to Python programming. All right, and what we can do here is that, let's say I want to iterate through each word in the string. I want to print out each word in the terminal one by one. We can do this by using a for loop. So for word in string, and we need to use the split function, and we'll simply put the space. So this is the separator. We are separating each word by space. All right, so we covered this in a previous video, string methods video, so you can check that video out if you want to. And this actually gives us the list of words. In fact, let me just make a list words. So over here you can see that I've printed out the list of all the words in the string, and now let's iterate through each word by replacing this with words and print out the word. Alright, and you can see that we have basically printed out each word in the string one by one. So we have welcome to Python programming. I've accidentally added a semicolon. Let's run that code again. And you can see that we have printed out each item one by one. So this is how you use loops to iterate by item in a list. One more thing is that we can simply remove this and put in string. And what we'll do here is I'll rename the variable to character. So what we have done over here, right, is that if you put in string, what it does is that the loop iterates through each character. All right. So you can see that we have printed out the first letter W, then E, then L, C, O, M, E, then a space, and then we just keep on going. All right. So we print out each character if we simply put in string, and if you put in the split function, we print out each word. All right. So that's it for iterating by item for Python loops. Now I'll be talking about the continue and break keywords in Python. Let's say I want to write a program where I need to find the lowest possible value for n such that 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus so on until n is greater than or equal to 100. Remember that I'm finding the lowest possible value for n. I can do this by first creating a variable sum that will store our sum, and then number, and our sum starts from 1, so I'll make numbers equal to 1. Next I'll put in while true. Alright, so this is again an infinite loop. So after this I'll increment sum by number. So I'm taking sum and adding number to the sum, and then I'll increment number by 1. So again, remember this is an infinite loop, and once our sum reaches 100 or above, I want to stop the loop. I can do this by using if the sum is greater than or equal to 100, I'll next type in break, and let me just print out number as well, and also the sum. So over here what we get is that number is equal to 14 and our sum is 105. So what this code basically does is that we start the sum from 0 and we start the number from 1. All right, and then I add number to the sum, and once the sum reaches 100 or above, it goes to the break. So what break does is that it basically stops the loop and it gets out of the loop. All right, so whenever break is called, it simply exits the loop, and we just skip line 10 and we go to line 11, and then the whole loop is stopped. All right, so even though this is an infinite loop, again we use break to just come out of the loop. I could put this condition into the loop, but I'm just showing you how to use break in your Python code. So break is very useful if you're trying to break out of your Python code, and yeah, that's how you use break. So next, let's talk about the continue keywords. So let me quickly make a Python list. All right, so I have a Python list that goes from 1 to 12, and I'll iterate through the list using a for loop, as we covered before. All right, so we're iterating through each item, and let's say I want to find the sum of all these items. All right, so I'll start the sum from 0, and all right, and I'll print out the sum. However, what I want to do is that I want to prevent adding 5 and 8. All right, so I don't want to add 5 and 8. So to do this, I can use the keyword continue. So let me just show you. If item is equal to 5 or item is equal to 8, we'll type in continue. So what happens over here is that we're iterating through each item, right? So first item is 1, so this is false, and some you add 1, then item becomes 2, then this is again false, and we add 2. Same for 3, this is false. It's also false for 4. When item is 5, this becomes true, and we go to line 7, which is continue. What continue does is that it simply skips all the lines below over here. So we basically skip line 8. If I have something like print item, it'll also skip lines 8 and 9. Right, so everything below the continue keyword, it is just skipped in that particular loop. All right, so line 8 and 9 are simply not executed. We go right back to we go to line 5, where item is now 6. This is false, so we just skip line 6 and 7. We go to line 8, so line 8 and 9 are executed over here. We go back to the top for 7, and then when we go to 8, this condition is again true, so we execute the continue statement, and line 8 and 9 are simply skipped. All right, so we go back to the top, and for items 9, 10, 11, and 12, this condition is false, and we get the lines 8 and 9 are executed for these 4 elements. All right, so let's just run the code. So again, you can see that we print out items 1, 2, 3, 4, and we skipped 5, right? Because this is true when the item is 5, and we go to the continue keyword, so it skips line 8 and 9, so we just don't print 5. And similarly for 8, so 7, we print out 7, but we don't print out 8, because this becomes true, and this continue statement causes lines 8 and 9 to be simply skipped. All right, so last item is 12, and then our final sum is 65. Remember that if I have any statement here like print hello, this statement will still be executed even if this condition is true, because what happens is that we go to line 6, so this is executed, then we check if this statement, if this conditional is true. If it is, then we go to continue, and then we just basically skip all the lines below the continue keyword. To show it to you, over here what happens is that we print out hello 12 times for each element. So you see that we print out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, right? Even if we don't print out 5, we still print out hello. And even if we don't print out 8, we still print out hello. All right, so again, remember that continue allows us to skip all the lines below it. So we skip lines 9 and 10. All right, that's pretty much it for all the advanced aspects for Python loops. If you like this video, then please consider giving a like and subscribe. And yeah, I'll see you in another